In the words of the great Prabhudeva from the movie that I can't name, Urvasi, Urvasi, take it easy policy. Hello and welcome to the all-new ThyGap podcast. This is me being Brute and with me is...
Bogus Noog.
Bogus. We are starting the episode.
Yep, Brute, first of all, welcome back.
Thank you. Welcome back to you too.
Well, I've always been here.
No, you've not.
It's you who were absent.
If I'm not there, you're not there.
You're
That's
literally
simple as
back
that.
from the dead, Brute.
Yes. Thanks for that, obituary
Yeah.
that you very kindly presented. But alas, like the great Terminator, I'm back.
You're like the pandemic. You just refuse to die.
Bogus, just don't digress from the word go. Okay?
Hey, bro, take it easy, man.
So, we've repeated the topic of today's episode like 4 times now.
Yeah,
It's our new edition. It's not easy
taking it easy.
to take it easy. That's what we're going to talk about. So, Bogus, just to get our understanding, what do you mean by taking it easy?
In the context of this episode, Brute, what we mean by taking it easy is either stopping every now and then to smell the flowers, taking a breather every now and then from the hustle and bustle of life. It is also being able to see the humor in even adverse situations.
Right.
And to not get too worked up by circumstances, to a certain extent. I mean, beyond a certain extent, it should not really go.
Right.
So I think that's what we mean basically by taking it easy. If we have to sum it up, that's the kind of context we are, talking about.
Right. I completely agree with you, Bogus. It's one of those unfortunate nights where I'm agreeing with you, where even I agree to the fact that, first of all, it is an attitude. What we mean by taking it easy is it's not like, oh, now I have a situation or a context where I have to take it easy.
Yeah.
It is a basic attitude at a ground level.
Yeah.
You need to have an attitude of taking it easy.
Now that we've covered the definition, bro,
Yes.
why is it not easy to take it easy?
So, Bogus, see, we live in a very competitive world. There is a lot of pressures on us
Oh, no.
from multiple different external factors. Like when you're in the school, you have the pressure of your student friends
Yes.
and from the teacher and from your parents and from the uncle who's not at all related to you and stays beside your house.
I know.
And from one agony aunt who is in your lane, who constantly is boasting about how great her son or daughter is.
Where is this going?
Basically, all these things kind of tell us that, oh, you know what? If you even waste 1 second, you're gone.
Yeah.
You will be washed away from the face of earth.
The stakes are too high.
Nobody will believe you. Nobody will care for you. You'll become a bloody beggar.
No.
That is the society we are in right now. And on top of it, there is the peer pressure, the unwanted peer pressure. For example, you go onto Instagram, everybody is happy.
Yeah.
Without exception. Super happy.
Picture perfect life.
Picture perfect life. Without filter. Hashtag no filter. And you are thinking to yourself, fuck dude, I'm so behind these people.
Yeah.
What will happen to me? What can I do? Like, etc., etc. All this comparisons. You are always constantly under the pressure to perform.
Yeah.
And you're not given any time to perform. You are almost expected to like plug and play.
Yeah.
And because of this kind of, you invariably inculcate that attitude of, oh, I should be a performing machine or else I'm lost.
Yeah.
I'm gone.
Yeah.
This is what it makes it very difficult for you not to take things easy, because there is nothing that you can take it. You almost feel like there is nothing in my life which I can take it lightly or I can deprioritize.
Yeah.
So that is what makes it not easy to take it easy.
And there's also this common misconception that people try to grapple with, right? Which is an incorrect, set of expectations. Like the expectations themselves are not set right.
Yeah.
Like there is an expectation that you need to have answers for everything.
Right.
Or whatever challenges you come up against. The expectation that, you have complete control over the outcome of something that you're planning for.
You have or you need complete control.
Like the expectation that you should have or
you should have.
Yeah, you should be having.
Yeah.
Like if you don't have it, then that means it's a poor reflection
Of
you or something.
Correct.
That kind of misconception, because and that comes from these sort of comparisons or these yardsticks or pissing contests like you mentioned, which is from a distance, it all looks pretty and everyone's life looks perfect, but the real truths, the dirty underlying realities, they're not visible because no one wants to advertise those. So when those get lost, people will start setting their expectations in accordance to what they're seeing,
right.
on social media or whatever.
Right.
So once you set up your goals and your objectives in accordance to that, which in itself is not the whole picture, obviously things are going to go haywire because you're now expecting that you will just set about your plans and you also will be in a place where you'll be posting pictures of,
fakeness,
this new thing, that new, this next level stuff. But, that's not how it goes.
Yeah, you become the race. You start participating in that race without even knowing whether that's the race you want to be in.
And because your expectations themselves were not set right from the get-go, when things go wrong, it becomes almost natural to blame yourself, like as if it was completely a failing of yourself.
Right.
Whereas you're not fairly judging all the aspects of what happened. Like maybe you have a 60% stake in whatever fuck up that happened.
Right.
So maybe you should blame yourself only 60% rather than, put the whole 100% on your head.
Yeah.
Call a spade, you know.
So there is no concept, there is no room for benefit of doubt.
Yeah, that incorrect expectation itself is what makes it not easy to take it easy.
Right.
Because once your house of cards comes crumbling down, then you don't have, you're numb again. You don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Because...
Actually, it's like the cyclic effect, right? Like because, things didn't go according to the plan, you again feel more pressure.
Yeah.
Instead of like stepping back and stopping the show and say like, hold on.
Yeah.
You basically are taking more pressure. Shit, I didn't succeed. So I have to work double hard to succeed.
Your confidence takes a hit.
So many things. I mean, like belief, capability, self-doubt, blah, blah, blah. But it is a cyclic effect, and which is what it makes it trickier and trickier to actually see, okay, when do I take a break from this? Which is why I feel it's not easy, because the more levels you keep going in, the tougher it keeps getting. And what we think is the tougher it gets, the more effort that we have to put in.
And we were also talking about this earlier, how people generally have a affinity towards complicating things.
Yeah.
Like they think that they're smart
if
they can complicate some simple stuff. Once you're a fan of complication, you're never going to take it easy.
I know.
Because it looks like a dumb thing to do for you.
It can't be so simple.
It can't be simple. If you're doing it in a simple way, you must be dumb or something.
Right. This is something my father told me a long time back, and it's actually an insult which he gave me. He insulted me.
Deservedly so.
No, it's not deservedly. My father was pulling my leg. Why are you so happy? Anyways, he said something like, you use a lot of intelligence to take 2 steps back. And I think that's what it is. We kind of scheme and strategize so much for something which is not even productive. And if we look at it, it's our innate nature that we just cannot accept that something has like a simple resolution.
Yeah, it has to be complex, because if it's not complex, then
we are not using our intelligence properly.
I'm not getting validation for my smarts.
Right. My IQ scores are not being utilized.
I don't feel validated. Like I need to feel smart about myself.
And the irony is, you actually need a lot of intelligence to simplify things. Yeah. So if you're able to come to a simple conclusion, then you should actually say like, fuck, I'm smart because I just figured out the simplest form of resolution. Yeah. I mean, this is a fundamental thinking flaw, but this thinking will displace your attitude or your ability to take it easy. Yeah. You're going to extend the problem. And yes, this is another reason why it's not easy to take it easy, because we thrive for complexity. We thrive for a smart conversation or a complicated, a nuanced, debate or argument. Yeah. We just can't simply say like, oh, is it so? Okay, cool. We just can't say. We can never hear ourselves saying like, okay, cool, no problem.
So let's say there is someone who has always had a tough time of taking things easy and they want to start. What would you tell a person like this?
Stop thinking. Gullibility. I would say be gullible. Be ready to be the idiot in the room.
Okay.
Because idiots take it easy. I mean, you're not discarding the conversation, but you're not participating.
Right.
It's important sometimes not to participate and just listen to, just see how things are going. So my simple hack to get that attitude of taking it easy is to be gullible and be the idiot in the room. Have you seen Margin Call?
No.
So in Margin Call, I think I've already said it in one of our podcasts. I don't know in which one. But Jeremy Irons is like the head of this huge bank or a financial institute. He's like the top guy, right? And there's a huge financial catastrophe that happens, and there's an emergency meeting.
I heard about it. Yeah.
So this guy comes into the room, and there's a very junior person who identified the catastrophe, right? That, oh fuck, we are basically fucked. The whole market is fucked.
Right.
So this guy comes into the room, and Jeremy Irons is like, comes into the room and says like, okay, who is the guy? Okay, what is the status? Blah, blah, blah. And they try to explain the immediate subordinates, but he's not impressed, or he feels that, no, this is, I want to hear it from the horse's mouth, right?
Right.
So who's the guy who actually put this together? And this guy like raises his hand like me. Like, great. Stand up, speak confidently, and tell it to me as you will tell it to a 6-year-old or a golden retriever. That fundamentally, that attitude that he brings in, and he's smiling, he's not like uptight or like stoic or anything.
Yeah.
Which tells you that, you need that attitude that, okay, take it easy. We can solve this. Don't like jump to conclusions that it's a huge situation, blah, blah, blah. And, you can see that in that scene where that guy is not, he knows the gravity of the situation. You basically have fucked up the country's economy. But his attitude is as if like, okay, nothing happened, things are under control, take it easy, we'll figure it out. I mean, though it's a fictional character, but that is the mark of why this is so important, to have that attitude. And it comes out of practice. It comes out of, you being able to step back from your intellectual, perceptions,
right,
and just take things for what they are.
Yeah.
If somebody doesn't have it and they want to start doing it, then the first thing is, I would say, like, be the idiot in the room or be gullible. Second is, don't go as far as thinking of the result. These are the two things.
From my side, I would start with like a couple of things. One is, there are two kinds of truths that, one has to make peace with, I feel.
Okay.
Because if you make peace with these truths, because they are undeniable, then only when you make peace with it, it actually sinks down to your bone as a philosophy, that you will automatically apply without conscious prompting.
Okay.
And these are, one, in your life, there are a number of things which are out of your control.
Oh, okay. Weather.
Whatever.
Traffic.
Let's not even try with the list.
Okay.
There are a number of things, that are out of your control. If you accept that, if you acknowledge that, in that given situation, in the heat of the moment, you will ultimately, there is a moment where you're giving it your all, you're trying your best, you're using all your creativity to solve a problem that you have. But then there also comes a moment where if you can judge correctly that it has gone out of your control, then you can take it easy.
Yeah.
Because that's basically one of the laws of nature.
Right. Hands off the deck.
There comes a point where something else takes over.
Yeah.
And you kind of have to hold on and try to be smart enough to survive that way, just by holding on.
Right.
The other thing is, at no point in your life, you're ever going to get all of the answers to everything. You're never going to land that perfect formula of what is a successful life.
Right.
You're never going to be completely happy with whatever riches you're trying to gain.
Right.
You're never going to have all the answers for anything. Basically, you're always just guessing. You're playing a guessing game. So is everyone else. You're going to have multiple theories, flowing in and out of your head. Maybe at a given point, you might land on the actual answer, but then no one's going to appear out of thin air and say, good job, congrats, you won the prize. Like,
nobody's going to pat you on the back.
Nobody's going to come and validate basically your theories.
Right.
So either you're never going to know the truth, the ultimate, whatever the truth is. And even if you land on it, no one's going to come and point it out to you. So you might just stumble onto the next theory.
Right.
So if you look at this situation, and you see how much less control you have over what's going on here, then ultimately you will realize that, okay, I don't really have to take it all to
the heart.
Yeah, to heart. Like, I don't really have to take it all that much seriously, because I'm reminded of something that I read for the first time in Fountainhead, of Out of All Books.
Out of Why couldn't you be reminded of something that you read in The Idiot or War and Peace?
No, because a good point is a good point. Like there are things that stand out of The Godfather, for example. Like, so Fountainhead, this lead character, Howard Rourke, had a tendency of, he was a stoic kind of guy. So people around him wondered how, no matter what kind of disaster after disaster came his way, he never seemed fazed by it.
Yeah.
So some lady or some character asks him literally to his face, like, how come you're never fazed by these things that are happening? So he says, no, it does faze me in the beginning, and I let it faze me, but only up to a certain point.
Yeah.
Like I don't let it have any more effect beyond that point. So if everything, all kinds of shocks and surprises, if you have a system where you are willing to admit that I'm not going to have complete control over the situation, when it happens, in the thick of it, my initial response is going to be a reflex.
Right.
I will feel the sting.
Right.
I will feel the pain. I will feel the embarrassment, whatever. I'll feel that initial sting. There is no way to stop it. There's no way to control it. So let me take it in.
Yeah.
But let me control how far it gets in. Let me put a dam there so that it doesn't go beyond a certain point, so that I'm not too flustered or I'm not too caught off guard, in that situation where I would just be like a deer in headlights or something. But actually I would know how to respond to the situation. So that kind of a characteristic trait, I feel like these two truths, one is of course about you're never going to have all the answers, so you
might as well
take it easy.
Yeah.
And the other one is, of course, there's so many things in your life that are beyond your control after a certain point. If you just know what they are, and if you agree and you accept, you acknowledge, because it takes some humility to say, okay, I'm not all that.
Yeah. Great.
There are so many
things. Which I think you should get. You personally, Bogus, I think you should inculcate this a little.
Oh, yeah, really?
I don't think you do what you preach. But
Sure.
But the other thing is, where does this fit in? Like taking it easy. Do you think is it a philosophy? Do you think it's a characteristic? Do you think it's an attitude? For me, it resonates with attitude, that you need to have that attitude of take it easy. But do you also think it fits into... Because if we understand which bucket it fits in, I think we can also figure out a way to inculcate it.
I think, in my mind, it fits in the bucket of humility and wisdom.
No, but that is again, see, humility and wisdom are traits. They are like characteristics. Taking it easy. If you have to put it in, is it a philosophy? You should have a philosophy of taking it easy. Is it like a habit? Like being punctual is a habit? Or is it like an attitude that your approach to things in itself should be take it easy? Yeah,
I think it's more of an attitude. Like it's always there, right? Under your skin.
Yeah. So it's there on the peripheral.
Yeah.
That your first, if somebody is talking to you, I mean, the first impression they would be getting is, oh, this guy's attitude is like, he never takes things seriously, or
there's no
something like that.
There's no guy who can work like a robot, can be a workaholic and then can also take a break at the most appropriate times and lead a healthy balance and all.
Right.
It's either going to go that way.
Yeah.
So what I mean by that is taking it easy, like you said, it has to be an attitude that's always under your skin.
Yeah.
It's not a switch or a hobby, that you can just turn on and turn off.
The reason I was thinking about is, if it is an attitude, then it's something that you can develop.
Yeah.
It's not something that, I either have it or I don't have it kind of a thing.
Yeah, in my own case, like these two things helped me a lot in taking it more and more easier. Those two things that I said. So that helped me. Like once I realized that, this is true. So why are we, why so serious?
Yeah. The other reason why this is important is because Joker said it.
Well, we never got into why it's important, but we can start off with that. So
the reason why this is extremely important is because if Joker says something, you better take it seriously. Like if he says, why so serious, take it easy, then we have to take it easy. I think that's a fundamental law.
And the other reason why I think it's really important is it gives you control, over things that you can't easily control normally. Like tense situations, or like it just gives you more and more control over your emotions.
Would you say control or perspective?
No, I would say control is the more stronger driving force, I feel. Because, whenever you're in a situation where it would be beneficial to take it easy, but you can't take it easy, you're losing control in that situation, because you're responding. Something happened and you're just responding. You feel the obligation to respond immediately. To react immediately.
Even respond.
No, respond is a little more considered, like.
Okay. You're going technical on the language.
Yeah, like majority of people, like what you see is they feel an obligation to react. Right? Like
yeah.
immediately react.
Chutiya, tu chutiya.
Instead of, just responding.
Yeah.
Taking that just fraction of a second more. But yeah, apart from control, why it is also important is because I think it is more realer than many other real things in life.
The most complicated statement. It's more realer than other realer things.
Like for example,
Like, are you able to see the mirror? No, but you are the mirror.
There is no spoon.
There is no.
Wow. So what I mean by that is, to any given person, if you ask them what is really real to you, they might come out with a list of things. My passion, my
love for trees.
Yeah, I mean my hobbies, my family, my friends, that kind of a list, or my career, these kind of things. But when you get more realer than that, you think of moments where you're completely blank. It's like you went trekking. You set up, you lit up a bonfire and you're in the night, you're drawing warmth from the fire, it's cold. There are these moments where
you're lost.
You're not lost also. You feel found yourself. Actually.
Okay, yeah. You're with yourself even more.
Weirdly, you feel found because you're so present in that moment.
Yeah.
You don't feel any rush to think about a particular thing.
Right.
You don't feel any obligation to
jump to conclusions
or, worry about something. Everything feels so calm and self-assured.
Yeah. I want you to be like that sometimes when we are recording Bogus. That's a side request.
Yeah. It's never going to happen because of present company, of course.
Yeah. The warmth that I give you, I think is enough.
Toxic influence, bro.
You are hallucinating, Bogus.
But yeah, so these moments, right, where you really feel more alive all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And you feel so present. I mean, ultimately, what is more real than that? Because whatever problems you want to solve in life, whatever you want to achieve in life, ultimately you're just going to be lost in time. There is no escaping it. I mean, people far greater, far grander than all of us have left behind marks of their culture that we can't even begin to imagine, the scale and all of that stuff.
I don't know where you're going with this.
They themselves are wiped out. My point is, all the things that they did, things that we can't even comprehend, like how they achieved it. No names, no trace, complete wiped out. Then what is the point of, taking seriously, you're living here, you're going to your job, you're thinking about what to order for lunch. You fucking pathetic loser. It's like, what are you taking seriously for?
I have a different take of why it's important. I mean, this is compelling reason enough. But, okay, I always am a big fan of how are you walking out of the room?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's an analogy, but it's always about like, how do you get out of things? Tells you more than how you got into things.
Okay.
For example, I mean, whenever you go into a tough situation in life, it's almost certain that you have no control of you avoiding that. Because it's only on the hindsight you realize, oh, this is how I got into the tough situation. But when you get out of it, which you eventually do, right? You always do get out of tough situations. It is what you bring with you. And if you don't take it easy, you don't move on. I think it's a very important trait or a quality for you to like move past the fact that, oh, this happened with me. Fuck it. Now I'm out of it.
You don't move on and you also don't learn from it.
Yeah, there's so many things because you're just like cribbing and blaming and
God
knows all kind of things.
You're completely sinking in that hole,
So it's also like we are sadistic in nature. So we like to keep feeling that past pain.
So masochistic,
you get that point, right? Like in a sense, the attitude of taking things easy is a primitive requirement or a prerequisite for you to move on from things.
Yeah.
Even before any other thing. Even before you figure out, oh, what would I learn out of this situation? Even before like, oh, what will I do next? All that aside, you should have that attitude so that you can move on faster or you move on better. Faster, I don't know, but you will move on better. And that is why I feel it's extremely important to have that attitude ingrained of the taking it easy kind of an attitude. The best examples that I can give you is when you said that, we won't learn out of it unless we move on. Is again, this is coming from some of the best sports guys. The question was asked to this cricketer, if I'm not wrong, it's Rahul Dravid or Marco, I'm not able to recollect. I think it's Rahul Dravid, where they said, what happens to you when you drop a catch in the slips? And he simply said, just move on. Forget about it. You're not perfect. And you just take it easy and like you start concentrating on the next ball.
Yeah.
So for someone to do it in like 2 minutes, imagine the kind of, say it's a final and you drop a catch of a very important batsman. The amount of pressure and all that is already on you, right? And you just drop the catch. It takes a lot for you to get out of it because you only have so much of window to start preparing for the next possible catch.
It's also the thing about control, right? Like if you dropped a catch now, that moment has already passed. There's nothing you can do to
no
bring
matter
it
how
back.
much you fight with it.
Yeah, to bring it back, you can't bring it back, you can't remedy it, it's done.
Yeah.
So when you realize that, you have no control over this, then you might as well
take it easy.
Take it easy.
Yeah.
And now keep an eye out for the next catch.
Yeah.
I mean, bro, we've done a series of specials on the topic of, what's not easy.
Yeah.
We've come up probably with 15 things that are not easy.
Yeah.
But who knew that taking it easy itself
is not easy?
It's not easy. Hey, thanks for listening. You can follow this podcast on Spotify to get notified of new episodes every Thursday. We're also on Apple Podcasts for those of you who have partaken in the forbidden fruit. If you liked what you heard, leave us a 5-star rating and a comment. Say anything like the quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. A rating and a comment really helps us out. It's free, and I'm told that's a great price. But enough about us, huh? Tell us about yourself. Leave us a comment. Our Twitter is @ThyGap and we are _ThyGap on Instagram.